First, you want to get one win. I want to be an AVP champion. Can I just get one? Then I can be an AVP champion forever. Or a world tour win, right? Or a medal. Just get a medal. These things. But once you get one, it's never enough. Now I got to get more. And then you climb the ladder, and now I got to try to see if I can cement my legacy.
Hello, my name is Aaron Wexler, and welcome to another episode of Within the Game. Let's go! Within the Game is all about sharing inspiration, and thank you all for being a part of this podcast journey. My one ask is that you just share this episode with someone that you think would like it, someone you think would be inspired from this episode. That'd be great, and please follow and support my guests. And today's guest, for, I don't know, is this your third time on the show now, is the one and only Bourne. Try, thanks so much for being here, man.
Yo, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Trying to stay inspired is the name of the game. So, I got to come back on the show to get my juices flowing again.
Let's go, Try. So Try's a friend, a multiple-time guest on this show, a colleague, an inspired athlete, an Olympian, a world tour champion, a multiple-time Manhattan Beach Open champion, a 10-time AVP champion, co-host of Sandcast podcast with Travis Mewhirter, a true waterman, a devoted family man, and overall good dude. Try, welcome back to the show. I'm so stoked to have you here. This is going to be a celebration of your career for this episode, bro.
Dang, I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, it's different circumstance. I feel like I'm always in a different chapter of life when I come on the show, but I'm excited to be back on here. Always good to see you. And it's been cool to see all the guests that you've been having on the show. Every time I come on, I'm like, damn, I might be fading out of that category. You're having some heavy hitters on here.
I appreciate that, man. You guys inspire me at Sandcast. I'm going to leave a link there too. And the website is Sandcast Volleyball. Great podcast. I just got done listening to the one you did with your wife, Gabby, and that was a great one. I might even link that here. And then I always got to mention your Instagram at Bourne. Try the overall theme for this episode is it's a celebration of your career and also the final tournament at Manhattan Beach Open. And I kind of want to start with that because the AVP gave me a media pass for that tournament because I mentioned that I wanted to do a special episode about you. Let's start with that, man. It just happened 2 weeks ago. Tell me your thoughts. Let's recap.
Yeah, it was wild. The whole experience came on quickly. I didn't feel like I was that guy ready to have my retirement ceremony and all that kind of thing. But it came on quickly. I do my thing where I go deep. I don't make these decisions just off a whim. I do some deep diving work and see where I'm at in my life and from moment to moment, and then take action based on what I find. And it was the right call for me at this time, at that time, and now 2 weeks out, it still feels right. So I think I made the choice from the right place. It doesn't mean it's not gonna be hard, but it feels just right so far. No regrets so far. But yeah, it was cool. That whole month or so was just like from when I announced it to the tournament happening, me having my retirement party after it all, family leaves town, went sailing to Catalina after. That was like the end of it. And it was so, I was just so full of gratitude. First of all, the way that the AVP gave me shout out, made the highlight reel, and then the whole ceremony and honored me and brought my family onto stadium. And I thought that was cool. The AVP's, you know what it means to us volleyball players. That tour since we were kids, it's been it for us. So getting honored in that way just filled me with a lot of gratitude. And then hearing the fan messages, the comments on social media, the direct messages, the text messages from people like yourself, and it was just like, dang, like when you're in it, and you don't know what it's going to look like at the end. You don't know. I wanted to honestly set the no expectations in terms of what it needed to be, because I guess I didn't want to let myself down at all, of like you dream of this farewell or whatever. But I think it was exceeded. I just couldn't believe how many people reached out and were just, you know, thankful or had a good experience at some point because of me, something that they remembered, or it wasn't all volleyball related, which was kind of a surprise, but also kind of means more to me now because it made me feel like, you know, the things that I do off the court, um, you know, the many things I do off the court meant something, and almost sitting here at the end of it all maybe meant more than the win. You know, my whole career as an athlete, us guys were focused on like how many wins can I get? You know, once you get into that win candidate, first you want to get one win. I want to be an AVP champion. Can I just get one? Then I can be an AVP champion forever. Or a world tour win, right? Or a medal. Just get a medal. You know, these things. But once you get one, it's never enough. Now I got to get more. Now I got to get more. And then you climb the ladder, and now I got to try to see if I can cement my legacy. I need
Yeah.
more wins to do that. So you're on that treadmill, but then you get to the end of it, and all the love and gratitude that's coming in is all based on more on who you were and how you showed up, um, and how you inspired people. Literally, like that was the one thing. I'm not even like trying to say this because it's the podcast and there's books right behind you. Like that was the one thing that like people kept saying was that they were inspired, and I was just like, dang, that shifted my perspective and kind of meant a lot. Like, wow, it was even more worth it than I thought it was. I knew it was worth it the whole time, but it really like that would be my message maybe to guys behind me who are still in it. It's like, man, try to like inspire people. Like that's the thing that's gonna stay with you over the years more so than these wins. You know, I keep hearing this 10 wins. Like that's my thing now, right? It's 10 wins. And I'm like, man, like that, it doesn't quite mean as much unless I'm just talking trash with my friends and we're trying to compete over who has the most wins, which is all just fun and games. Like it's the inspiring part that I think is going to be that stick with me like till the end of my life, kind of thing.
It's just so cool to hear that from you right now. You know, I've heard that from you before, but now after, you know, you did it, right? The check mark,
Yeah.
to hear that as the like the number one thing, that's greatness, man. You know, like
Hmm.
Kobe said that. Like Kobe said greatness is to inspire the person next to you. And that's exactly what you just said. And that makes me feel great, right? It makes me feel great to know you as a friend, but also as a fan, like to watch you, you know, do your thing and know that that's the kind of the motivation now looking back is to inspire someone. I mean, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I wish that on everyone who's listening to this or watching this. If you're listening to this, check it out on YouTube because I'm gonna put a bunch of cool clips as
Heck yeah.
Tri and I are talking from that tournament because I got that access right there, which was so cool. So thank you for sharing that, and let's stay on the Manhattan Open because I wanted
Yeah.
to ask you about your emotions, man. I think a lot of fans really want to know about the player emotions,
Hmm.
specifically from the last dance. Let's call it the last dance, right?
Yep.
Talk about your emotions. You know, take it how in any direction you want to go.
Yeah. No, you know, I think at some point it might be a lot because of my wife, Gabby. She's an actress, right? So she's well in touch with her emotions. She has to have a extremely deep awareness and mindfulness of her emotions and how she can create emotions of characters. I don't even know how to. The psychology of acting is wild,
Yeah.
but I think it's early on. I kind of realized as I dove into like, okay, what am I as a professional athlete? How do I build a brand? How do I build a business? How do I maximize this whole thing as a professional athlete? I realized that people, I need to let people in, and people need to be able to relate to me. And the only way I can relate to people is just by being real, right? Um, and so to do that, I needed to let people in. So whether that's on the court, uh, in the beginning, it's like you see a lot of athletes. I'm on the court, I'm in my zone, I'm mad, I'm happy. They're going through the emotions, but it's kind of all inside them. They're
Yeah.
not letting the fans in on it. They're not really, letting your opponents in on it, which is a strategy sometimes, but
Sure.
sometimes you want to like the best athletes can manage that where they're figuring out how their emotions and their energy is affecting their opponents and all that. That's a whole other game. But my point is, I've over the years I've come to realize as much as it's uncomfortable, especially for us guys, typically guys, but of course anyone, uh, we don't want to let people in. We don't want people to see us cry. We don't want people to see us emotional, losing our you know what. And but I realize that's where the gold's at. If you're willing to be uncomfortable and let people in on what you're really feeling, then they can relate to that. Whether it's that dude in the stands who isn't willing to cry, but he sees you, you know, like he sees you feeling your real emotions, he's feeling it, whether he's like this or not, or whatever it is, you know, like that's entertainment. And at the end of the day, as professional athletes, we're not playing the sport unless fans are in the stands. We play for them. We're entertainers. And to be the most entertaining you can, you got to have those moments where people feel it. And if they feel it, they're going to remember it. They remember it, they're going to want to come back. And so bringing it back to my retirement, I just really wanted to be open and honest about it and just let it come out. That's how I built my whole career. My whole game is about being present. I didn't want to, you know, I don't want to be emotional. I didn't want to not be emotional. It was just like whatever comes out, like try to let people in on it and just be honest and real about it. So it was a roller coaster. You know, there's moments where I felt it so deeply when I didn't expect to. And there's moments where I kind of expected like this moment I'm gonna feel it. And then it was like, no, not really, you know? So but that's
Can
kind of
you
the
share
beauty of it. Yeah, yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
can you share like the deep parts? Like, what was that? Like, was
Yeah,
there a
for sure.
like specific moment in warm up? I was there. I was watching you guys warm up.
Yeah.
I was like, kind of, and we'll talk about Nick and John in a second. But I just was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was trying to like almost absorb a little bit of your emotions while I was watching you warm up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, could you go a little bit deeper into that?
For sure. Well, let's take it back to even before the tournament. Preparing for the tournament, I went to USA Volleyball for they provided support for me. I'm on the national team. Announced my retirement. We agreed, hey, you're gonna give me access to the facility until Manhattan. So Manhattan's coming up. It's the Wednesday before my last day at USA Volleyball. No one's there. And I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. You know, I put a picture on Instagram, like last day at USA. And then, man, just started feeling it as I was leaving, just thinking about how much that place meant to me over the years. And as a kid, like the dream of being on the national team.
Yeah.
And then I'm the longest tenured person in the building all of a sudden. And I'm on my way out thinking about the very beginning of it all. You know, all the world tour, the national team, all the support, all the people that came through. And I was like, damn, I didn't expect this to be such a moment. It was nice because there wasn't really many people there for whatever reason that day. So I kind of got to take it in and just look around and appreciate it. And I was on the board of directors for years. I played on the indoor national team. I got up to the Pan American games team, World University Games indoor team, youth national team, junior national team. So, I mean, I did when I was like 17 or 16, I did like a winter youth training camp at the Olympic Training Center. So that's, I mean, dude, I'm 36 and I've been going at it since I was like 16 when I first put that tryout jersey on. So that really hit me. And then random messages, getting messages from people, and that kind of just randomly hit me. And then you come game day and the announcement, I think. I do my meditations before and it was like fairly mellow. I hear my pump up music actually. You know, there's different mixes I've put on over the years, but they're very familiar. So I remember hearing this song when I was warming up for this match in this country on that moment, and I was just getting revved up and it was the right song for the right moment. And then that comes on and that moment, dang, like those were cool moments in my life that,
Yeah.
they're coming to an end now. Um, so yeah, when I heard certain warm-up songs, it kind of like clicked in my head. And then, yeah, the announcement, like that's the intro is on Stadium Court. You got Mark Sherman on the mic, just kind of recapping and connecting me with the fans, I guess. You got a camera on you and try to not like hide in the towel or anything, but kind of let people in on it and see what comes up. Make sure it's real and authentic. And definitely was feeling it at moments like that, having John Hyden sitting there next to me, Lucena on the other side of me. Hyden's son was actually on the bench. We're kind of just like giving him that in and that feel, something for him to aspire to if he feels like it. And then at times, my opponents I'm playing against early on, it was Avery Drost, who he's been around just as long as me. I came out my first national team tryouts, he's there. Now I'm playing him these many years later. You got Wyatt Harrison with him, who's a young Hawaii boy, like someone I hope to have inspired a little bit. And then I play Wilcox, like all the opponents that I'm playing. One of the big ones is so many good moments about playing Alisson. We're in the losers now. It's one of our last matches. I get to play Taylor, some of my best friends, like knowing that it's my last time playing them. And then of course Phil and Trevor. So it was really those intros, I think, that got me every time. And then after that, it was just the end of the tournament, obviously during the ceremony, that kind of let it all out there.
Yeah.
It was random. It was all over the place. There's more moments too, like my wife dropped me off in the morning because we have a routine for Manhattan because we live nearby. She drives me down there and drops me off at a certain spot. We say goodbye. So knowing that was the last time, it's just like it was all coming together, like randomly. And it was like, damn, I feel it again. Damn, a little draining, to be honest, but
I
really
bet.
cool.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for being a fan of the show. I really appreciate your support. And if you'd like to further support the podcast, please grab a copy of my book, The Inspired Athlete. The Inspired Athlete is all about my personal growth journey, my athletic journey, my spiritual journey, all combined into one. And really the idea is that the energy of the inspired athlete is within us all, and it's up to us to evoke that. And whether you consider yourself an athlete or a competitor or not, it's my belief that the energy of the inspired athlete is within us. Even if you just decide to take a deep breath and just move your body, that's the inspired athlete. So it would mean a lot if you could help support the book project as well as the podcast by grabbing a copy. Links to the Amazon paperback version as well as the Audible audiobook version are listed below in the description. Thank you very much for your support. Stay inspired, y'all. Yeah, well, no, I really appreciate that because I think, first of all, me, I like to get into emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, the emotions, right? I feel like we're here to feel all the feels,
Yeah.
whatever we do. But specifically for athletes, high level athletes like you who are like, you have to find a way to manage all these emotions all the time. And I think that's really interesting. And I think it leads to my next question is like, how do you like turn that off and focus on the craft during the game,
Mm-hmm.
but also still look around and still feel it? Like, is there a way to do that? And maybe you could share for an up and coming player who's like
Yeah.
maybe struggling with that.
Yeah. No. Excuse me. So I think this is an interesting subject, and I've been thinking about it a lot more lately. I have a particular way. If you followed me over the years, you know that I have a unique way of how I go through the match mentally. I really lean into the whole turn your brain off thing. Like don't think is like my motto, which is scary for athletes and it almost doesn't make sense. Like a coach doesn't want to hear that. Like, no, no, no. Don't turn your brain off. We need you thinking out there. Don't be stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've taken that, and this is all based on experience. I've taken it so deep that I literally meditate my way through matches. Like, when you're doing mindfulness meditation, thought comes in, acknowledge it, let it go. Um, and I just basically do that throughout the whole match. I meditate my way through it, and my brain knows when to act on a thought. The instincts know. So I don't have to worry about thinking the right thing or coming up with the right answer. I can truly stay present, but I don't think many athletes, like, it's too scary to do that. Like in this moment, no, I have to find the answer. I can't just trust that it's going to come.
Mm.
I've done it for years. The answers come and more of them come, and you're more present and you play better. I do. If you just stay present throughout the match, all the preparation, it's all in there. You don't have to
Yeah.
try to go in and access it and find it. It's all there. So taking it back to the tournament, I just treated the whole week like it was a match.
Yeah.
Whatever comes up, it's okay. I'm gonna acknowledge it, let it go. And if it's something that I need to act on, my body's gonna act on it. You know, if I'm emotional, I'll probably just take a breath, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it'll just happen. And that comes from preparation. It comes from years of experience and um, studying the craft and whatnot. That's why the answers are already in my head. But for a young athlete, start with where you're at. You get to stack days, right? That's what a lot of athletes say. You get to start right now stacking days. Start with where you're at. Invest in that mindfulness. See if it works for you. Take one game. Like, I know it's scary to take one game and just be like, all right, screw it. I'm going to use Try's method. I'm going to meditate my way through this game
Wow.
and just see if my mind still works. See if I look like a complete idiot out there because I'm not thinking, like, it's almost what you feel like you would act like. And so that's what I did throughout the week, is just meditate my way through it. And it saved me so much energy, because if I was trying to bottle up the emotions or not think this way or that, and I'd be riding a roller coaster that's way too big. Whereas now I'm just like, okay, bring myself back. I leave, bring myself back, leave, bring myself back. And I can just bring that mindset straight into the game, because it's the same mindset.
I love that, Try. And thinking back to our past episodes, we've talked a lot about energy and how energy, how everything is energy, but how specifically we can channel energy at the right times. It sounds to me like you were in flow state, and the flow state is a joyful place to be. And I was watching you play, and you actually did seem like you were in your joy, like whether the scoreboard was up or down. I was watching you. I was like, man, he's playing for the joy of the game, and I think that's a mark of a true inspiring champion. I feel like some champions out there just play to win, just play, but playing for joy and playing for yourself, right? Yes, you're
Mm-hmm.
playing for the fans, 100%. Yes, you're putting on a show, you're a showman, but you're also celebrating yourself when you were playing
Yeah,
at Manhattan Open, right?
yeah, 100%. That was a big term, is like, let's celebrate it. And it's going to be so easy for the competitor in me, the ego part of me, to, I want to win this tournament.
Yeah.
That's the expectation. I've done it before. I know what it takes. I need to do everything that it takes to win this tournament.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're in that mode, that means you don't get to go do the signing in the autograph booth. You don't get to go to do the interview on the side. You don't go hang out with your family after or sign autograph. Like, you go back to the tent, you rest, and you focus. But
Yep.
the week was about celebrating for me, and I trusted myself to know what to do from moment to moment. So I didn't have to worry about when this thing comes up to sign autographs. Yeah, I'm going to sign it. My legs are tired. I'll go. If not, I'll stay.
Yeah.
I just trusted that I could manage it, and I think I did manage it well. It's something that's huge with Olympians. You go to the Olympics. Do you focus? Don't enjoy anything. Don't have any distractions, and miss out and sacrifice one of the greatest experiences that any athlete will ever have, because you're no, I don't care about any of these distractions, all these great things, the USA house, the fans, the watching, go to the swimming races, go to the track and field, and you just stay here. A lot of those athletes get to the end of the Olympics and like, damn, I didn't even experience it at all because I was so locked in.
Yeah.
And then maybe you didn't get the result you wanted. Now you didn't get the result you wanted, and you didn't experience it. So there's a science there that we work through. Like I completely worked through with a sports psychologist um, when I went to the Olympics, and I know a lot of the USOBC sports psychologists talk to all the athletes before they go, and like knowing, hey, here's the distraction. Guess what your biggest distraction will be? Your family. Because guess
Mm,
what? They're going to the Olympics. They're experiencing one of the coolest experiences once in a lifetime that they'll ever see. And their kids playing. They want to go watch the track. They want to party. They want to, do all the things. You have to choose and figure out how to deal with that. Yes, you want to experience it, but also you need to bring your best self because this
yeah.
is your moment.
Yeah.
So that's just part of it. It's sports is just like life wrapped up and put a scoreboard and a clock on it.
Yeah.
It's all life, but just like condensed, and we want you to do it all right now in front of us so we can
Right.
watch because we can all relate to these craziness, but like we get to watch you go through it in sports.
Pardon the interruption. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Hydurade. Hydurade is the first electrolyte drink I've found that hydrates without all the extra sugar and keeps me focused without caffeine. And as an athlete and coach for 20 plus years, I've tried just about every sports drink out there. Most are loaded with sugar or give you a quick crash. But Hydurade is different. From NTM Core, it delivers clean electrolytes for hydration and endurance, plus MCTs and L-theanine for focus. So it's hydration, recovery, and lasting focus all in one. And I know Sumi, the founder. He's a functional medicine practitioner with a master's in nutrition, and he's working toward a doctorate in holistic medicine. I've also used other NTM Core products, and I can honestly say this is a brand I trust. And here's the best part. As a Within the Game listener, you get 20% off for the rest of 2025. Just head to hydurade.com and use code WITHIN. Hydurade. Hydration, recovery, and focus all in one. Thanks for sponsoring Within the Game. Back to the show. Yeah, well, that's kind of the premise for my whole show. Within the game, right? It's a game, and it's how do you
Mm-hmm.
play within it, and how do you like have fun and be joyful, but stay process oriented and let go of the outcome, but manifest the outcome, but like have fun
Yes.
while you do it, but like grind and go for it, but also enjoy every. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah, just like it seems like the impossible, answer to get.
right, but it's joyful in the pursuit, and that's why we're talking about it. And I think it's
Exactly.
it's a good chance to talk about. Maybe you can share for some of the audience that doesn't know about the Evan Cory situation, and then how
Mm-hmm.
Nick Lucena came up to be a partner, and then also please throw in John Hayden, all friends of the show here.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm playing with Evan Cory this year. We had high aspirations, world championships, all that. Um, and one of our goals was to win Manhattan. Our team goals. We put it out there. We want to make world championships, get Evan his first world championships. We want to get a medal on the world tour, and we want to win Manhattan. Um, we had early in the year we struggled a little bit. Like literally, give me 2 3 points, and I can flip the script of our whole beginning of the year. So we just missed it by that much. A new team, so the excuses are there, but I don't want to use them, kind of thing. We
Okay.
we we didn't execute and get where we not needed to be. So it's kind of a struggle in the beginning. I have a new kid. I have a 6 month old kid. So I had a kid born in January this year. I told Evan, like, man, I'm not trying to go 10, 12 world tour events. I'm not trying to be gone all year. I'm going to be home for my kid. This is the first year out of the Olympic quad. I want to play domestically more. He agreed. But those first two events, we didn't put ourselves in a good position. Uh, so then we go to the AVP qualifiers. Boom, week of training. I throw my back out. I'm out, like out. Can't sit in a chair. Can't get up from a chair. I missed the first qualifier to get into the AVP league this summer, and then I missed the whole next week. So now I'm week of. I get my first practice in. Haven't played for 2.5 weeks. We get in there and we end up losing second round. So we got some points, but it wasn't great. I didn't play well, in my opinion. It's a rainy match, cold, like weird match. Everything's going their way. kind of thing. I'm kind of like frustrated and muscling it a little bit. Anyway, we lost. So now it all comes down to the last qualifier. Now I'm trained, but all the top teams are in now. We're a low seed. We play Trevor and Phil first round. I have a match point, but we miss the set and I miss it and then end up battling it out. We lose the match after I have a match point. So now I'm not in the AVP league. So that means my summer shot for AVP. And then that's when I saw the writing on the wall. It was like I either grind on the world tour more on the medium levels, the lower levels, the challengers, or I make some change because I threw my back out twice. That I threw my back out again after that. It's, things keep happening, and then so now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a little break, heal the back, and fix this little hip thing that's bothering me. I want to get PRP on it just because it's been lingering, right? It's not crazy bad, but it's lingering. So let's check it out. Use this time wisely. We go get an MRI, torn labrum in my hip. Like, okay, like this, things just keep going against me, and I'm just grinding away, sacrificing time away from the family, sacrificing my energy that I have when I'm home, and we're not making the money. Sponsor money's down because AVP's in a weird transition. So I actually lost the Monster pretty much because of that, which was a giant sponsor. And so basically, I just got into a position where I was telling Evan, like, man, this isn't what I signed up. Like, I can't justify leaving the family for this stuff.
Right.
When all these injuries can just keep happening and all these things that are out of my control. I can put in the work and then I get to make no money off of it to make a living. And I don't even get to go out there and play with myself 80 to 100%. I have to play at 60% or something. So it just wasn't in the cards. And so yeah, I told Ev, sorry, it's a long
No, keep going, bro.
explanation,
It's
but,
great. It's great.
but, I told him, so he moved on to this younger partner. He's trying to develop. There's this up and comer, Derek Bradford. And then I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna play Manhattan and retire and call it because this just isn't worth it anymore. And so I figured I would just play with someone, maybe play with a friend like Riley McKibben or something, because he was my first beach partner, or something fun. Um, and then Evan said he wanted to play with me. Like he wanted to be with me in my last event. We set out this goal instead of playing with his partner that he's with now. So I was like, okay, Ev, you're in. Let's play for each other. Let's take a crack at this thing. Week before he's playing in Seaside, boom, busts his shoulder, tore or something in the AC joint. He's out 6 weeks or whatever it is. So now it's like, man, more stuff keeps happening where it's like, man, like I think this is the right decision to retire. But then Nick Lucena had like a week before been like, dude, what about me? Put me on the list. I was like, what? You want to play? And he's like really wanted to play. So I call him. He's fired up. He's ready to go. I'm like, dude, this is like the most ideal thing I could possibly have. Comes out, we train. Before that, I had called John Hyden like, hey man, my last one, we need a coach. If I fly you out, you want to come? He's like, oh, let me think about it. And then Robin, Robin, his wife's like, John's coming. We're all coming. We're there for you. Try.
Heck yeah.
So the whole family flies out. Like this is my team from the very beginning was the Hydens. And so now I got John on the bench. I got Nick Lucena next to me, who's like my rival, but also very extremely good friend in terms of just what we've been through on tour together. And it was just like, this is the coolest and dumbest situation ever. Like I wanted to be playing with Evan. I wanted to play for him. I feel bad for him. He's hurt, but I get to play with Nick Lucena, like
Yeah.
one of the best defenders ever.
Right.
And then I get one of the smartest and best defenders, who's my ex-partner in the bench with me.
Yeah.
So I was just like, this is, hands off, no expectations. And then, oh my God, I forgot how great it was being with those guys. Like, you want to talk about me being able to turn my brain off? Like, with those two, I don't got to worry about anything.
Yeah.
They got it all. They understand what I say. When they say something, I know exactly what they mean. It's one word. Like, I never even played with Nick before, and I felt completely, I mean, we're running like pretty intricate plays to where like he's got to know that I'm going to be ready kind of thing. And I knew what he wanted and when like there was barely any miscues. So it was a honor to play with Nick the last event. I was surprised with how much he wanted it. He worked so hard in that short amount of time and he balled out, and I still wanted that Cinderella ending. And I know he wanted it too. I felt like I could have my peak beast mode wasn't quite there in terms of like closing those two matches out that we had right at the end, especially the Taylors, that block. Oh, it went through these two fingers
Oh,
to win the match. That angle block on Taylor, we had the right call, everything, and I missed it. Um, but it was just an honor, and it was the coolest way to go out, to be honest. Being able to play with Nick and having John there.
no, I really appreciate the share for myself and the audience because I think we all kind of lose sight about. I think the main win for athletes is the relationships. I really do think that's the main win.
Mm,
Yes, the trophies, yes, the accolades, yes, money, yes, all those things, but those things are kind of fleeting. The relationships that we make along the way, including me and you, bro.
yeah,
Um, those are the things that keep evolving and keep growing and keep. We talk about energy, right? There's more and more energy that can can blossom and get co-created more and more
yeah,
after competition even. And
hmm,
so like it feels so cool. And it was so cool to see your name and his name. And I was like, oh, what? And
yeah,
then I
yeah,
was riding my bike down and I saw you guys training. And I was like, look at
yeah,
this, man. Look how the
yeah,
universe kind of responded.
yeah, exactly.
And so that I just thought in itself it was almost a Cinderella story, and that's kind of why I'm doing this for you and for the
Yeah.
fans is because it's a full circle, try. I was
Oh
telling you
yeah.
before we started, I was there at those I still have it in my phone as Hayden's Court in Playa.
Yep. Yep.
But I was there at some of those practices when you went through your autoimmune
Hmm.
situation, and you still showed up, and we were like, you should probably go home, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
And you were like, I'm here to learn, man. I'm just gonna
Uh-huh.
just sit and learn, and to see it all come together in the last tournament where you're playing for joy and playing for fun and playing for Nick and playing for John and playing for Robin and playing for Gabby and playing for
Yeah.
everyone. And it was just so cool to see. So
Yeah.
so thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's part of the success was my choice or ability to not play for myself. Like you get more inspiration when you play for your teammate, when you play for other people, you play better, you're more focused. Believe it or not, like we think the thing that we want most is like for us to succeed, but it doesn't carry as much energy, as much focus as when you play for others.
Yeah,
So it almost feels backwards. And I think as kids, you can see it in youth kids sports where kids are all over the place and they just want to win and they're just freaking out because they focused on them winning and they're just learning.
yeah,
But over the years, yeah, it's if you can. My best moments is when I was most locked in with my team, when I cared so much that I'm in my pregame. I'm like, I'm gonna do it for that. I'm gonna do it for these boys. Like, I'm gonna do it for Jose and Trev on the bench here, for Evie and John, or for these young bucks that are next to me, or whoever it is. The people putting in their time for me. Um, that's when I played best. That's when I found the most focus, the most inspiration and energy. So it really is about the relationships at the end of the day. And it's hard to see when you're in it, especially
yeah,
in a sport like ours, because it's a team sport, but it's really an individual sport. Like your
totally,
career is your individual career, unless you're going to be the rare, right now, the Taryn and Kristen, or it depends on how you want to create it in your head, the Anders and Christian. Anders has tied his career to Christians. Norway, the Swedish boys, they've tied their careers to each other so far, like completely. But it's very rare. And you look at me, like I was very committed partner. I only had two partners for the first 8 or 9 years of my career. Um, but still, it was like, okay, well, what do I want, and what do I want to make from my career, and how do I want to? You're not committed to that partner. Like you're both doing your career separately, and then you have to come together and make sure you're playing for each other. Because if you're two individuals playing for themselves at that in those moments, that energy won't be there. The synergy won't be there. Like I was telling Evan this year, it's got to be 1 + 1 = 3. Us two coming together is going to make us that much better, that much stronger. If we're two individuals, we're going to be two. If we're these, 1 + 1 = 3, that's when we're gonna make those huge
Yeah,
strides and do
that's
those
cool.
incredible things.
That's a great mindset. No, I like that. I want to finish up Manhattan because there's a couple other things I want to get to, but
Yeah.
for the audience, and going back to the emotions of all this, there was a moment at the end, and I wanted to make sure I said this in the episode. There was a moment, where everyone's in tears, including me, and your family, the Haydens. But I'm bringing up the Haydens because, I'm close with them,
Mm-hmm.
John and Robin, and there was a moment at the end, try to fight back my tears here,
Mm-hmm.
where you looked at Robin and John, and you said something along the lines of Sam is here.
Yeah, yeah,
Talk about that a little bit. What, and maybe educate the audience too about
yeah.
that.
Yeah. So I mean, I partnered with John when he first had his second kid, right? And I'm 23 years old, and he had just had a newborn baby, but he had his daughter who was probably, I don't know, 8 years old, 7, 8 years old at the time. And so, in a lot of ways, John was the veteran. He picked me up. He showed me the everything. It wasn't just volleyball. He's a 41-year-old man with a family and with kids and responsibilities. And he's telling me, like, hey, man, like, I'm playing for them. Like, I'm getting on the plane for them. I'm coming home early for them. I'm doing all this for them. And I got to see that. So, in a lot of ways, John taught, he helped me become a man, you
Yeah.
know, family man and a dad and all that. John's daughter passed away when she was 17. Freak accident, blew all of our minds. Still, I'm a dad nowadays to a little girl. I actually have my kids are had a daughter first and then a son, and yeah, it was just absolutely tragic and crazy to think that such close friends and family would be going through something like that. But something that I saw from the outside, and I just felt like to whatever extent I went through it with them, and a lot of us all went through it with them, and it affected us, a lot of us, very deeply, even deeply, more deeply than they might know.
Yeah.
And so I can't say I can relate. That's impossible, but I know that something that's huge with them is just keeping, like, let's not let her go. Like, let's keep her name alive. Let's keep saying her name, which I think a lot of us are scared to bring it up because we don't want to bring up something that's seen as negative. But for them, it's like, no, like, please keep saying her name and she's here. They're very energetically connected and spiritual. So, like, they really believe she's here and they keep seeing signs of her and signs of ways that she's communicating with them and whatnot. And, um, John was actually mad at me for bringing it up. I could tell. He's like, "Really, dude? Come on." Um, but I know they appreciated it, and I know that they just wanted to let's keep talking about Sam like she's here and keeping her alive and in all of our hearts and minds and all that. So, yeah, I just realized that I'm to whatever extent, going through it with them, and so I just felt like
Yeah.
it was a good opportunity to mention it, even though I know it's like, God damn it, try to. I think he
Yeah.
just didn't want to lose it.
No,
Um,
100%. Yeah.
but it was just to honor them and their sweet girl. And man, I'm just like a lot of ways just a younger version of what
Yeah.
they've done. So they got to show me the path, and I'm just super grateful.
Hey guys, just wanted to take a quick moment to share my new music, an instrumental track called Small Waves featuring Brian Schwartz on trumpet and yours truly on acoustic guitar. And you know, this music is very much inspired by the ocean and specifically watching small waves crash on each other. When I look at the ocean and watch small waves, I'm able to kind of tap into that flow state, and hopefully, this music is reflective of that. You can find all the links to the music below in the description, and I would love to hear from you if you like the music and you're able to tap into that flow state as well. Let me know. Stay inspired, y'all, and keep exploring that creativity. No, 100%. Try, and thank you for sharing that. And John, hope, and Robin, hopefully you guys aren't mad at me too for bringing it up. But I told Robin in that moment I could feel her there too. So I 100% agree. I think it's something when we all experience loss at some point, you know, to keep remembering the joy, keep talking about it, and keep
Yeah.
staying in our joy. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And they weren't actually mad. They were just like, it's just so hard.
Yeah.
It's so good and hard at the same time, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I want to talk about the art of blocking because, and the reason why is
My
because
love.
you freaking dominated that tournament as a blocker. I
Mm,
believe I think you were ranked number 1 in blocking.
yes, by far.
But you say by far?
Yeah.
Let's
It's
go.
it's not always that I have uh that I'm like, I don't think I've ever been that far ahead in block. I think I had 40 and the next guy had like 27.
Let's go. Okay, so let's talk about that. So let's shift into that. Let's get into the
Hmm.
art of the block.
Yes.
First of all, you know, how did you get how did you um okay, here's how I want to ask this. So we talked about the emotions of your last tournament. How did you kind of release those emotions, get into that flow state and just lock in on the art of blocking?
Hmm. Yeah, so blocking, I got to take it all the way back, is that's my first love of volleyball.
Yeah.
Like when you want to talk within the game, there's volleyball, and then there's the certain skills and how I built my game and all that. And it was the first way that and I remember it specifically on the baby court at Outrigger. It's the little court we play on in the beach club I grew up in Hawaii. In Hawaii, um, I remember figuring out how to penetrate over the net, and I was like, oh, the more I penetrate, like, and my friends hit the crap out of the ball. You know, we all want to bounce balls, and I remember it clicking in my head and being like, oh, I know how to like wrap my hand around it and get that thing to bounce, and then and not let my friends bounce balls. And harder they hit, the more I blocked them. And I remember them getting frustrated and like shoving me. I was like, what the hell? Like, get out of here. Get your hands out of here. I'm like, no, I figured it out. So even from that age, and even from then, I was like, I'm better at blocking than all my friends. And then we got into club level, and our club team, we had Trevor Crabb on, who actually jumped higher than almost everyone on the team back then. He has sneaky hops, but people don't give him credit. Trevor Crabb, Brad Lawson, he was NCAA Finals MVP from Stanford.
Yeah.
Eric Shoji, the goat of liberos. Like we were stacked.
Yeah.
We're stacked on. Oh, Reese Hain, he's a son of legendary volleyball family. So I had to play middle blocker for club. Perfect, more reps for me. So I'm getting more reps blocking, and I just like always thought that that was my thing. And as we grew up and played beach tournaments, I took on the top guys, and college guys or semi-pro guys, and I was blocking them, and I was like, I think I know how to do this better than pretty much anyone. Like I haven't found someone who's better at this than I am. Obviously, there's people out there, but most of the people that were better than me at it were already pros. Um, so I just always had that confidence, and blocking was like the thing where I'm going to separate myself, and I'm going to be able to impose myself in the indoor game because I wasn't a huge hitter. I wasn't this strong. I didn't jump that high, hit that hard in college. Like I just was too lanky. I didn't know how to connect my core with it. So I was like OH2, I hit spots and whatnot, but you're not setting me ever. I'm not the big banger, but it was like, hey, lock me up on that opposite. That's their big hitter. That's my thing is to go lock that big boy down with my blocking ability. So I always took pride in it. And then when Hayden picked me up later, it's because he saw that. And my
Yeah.
favorite blocker in the world, Sean Scott, who's also an outrigger guy, the older generation, the guy we all looked up to. That's his partner. And so I went out to practice, and John saw me blocking. He's like, oh, "There's a little Sean Scott in there. If I could just get him to listen to me and like do the right things." And I was smart enough at the time to be like, I'm just going to focus on listening and doing the right things that he wants and show him that I'm capable of all what I'm capable of and my confidence blocking. And when he saw it, he's like, all right, let's go. I was like, really? No way. But I think it all stems from my ability to block. And then being an undersized blocker made me take even more pride in the technical side of it. And then John and Mikhail Jenkins really like opened my eyes to the technical, but also the footwork side of it, how to get
Yeah.
my foundation and move my foundation around in the sand to put myself in the best position to do what I do. It was always that same feel. It was always my style of blocking, but they gave me extra tools and taught me new things, and we really perfected it over the years. And so it's always been my pride and joy. And I
Yeah.
always felt like, whether it's true or not, who cares, you know? Um, but I've always felt like I'm arguably one of the easily one of the best pound for pound blockers in the world.
Yeah, man.
And for me, that just means, you know, you put everyone in the same body, then who's the best blocker, right? If you're going to be 6'10", and Phil's amazing, you know, like, but it's really hard to compare when you're when a guy's this high up and I'm over here, you know. I'm like, I'm getting my nose at the net, he's getting his nipples over the net. Um, but yeah, it doesn't matter what people think. It's just what I believed, you know. And I loved working on the footwork and doing all these things that I think a bigger block, a more athletic block, um, if they learned to do that as well, it would have put them stratospheres above everyone else. But um, I don't know. I just always loved it and always had confidence in it. So for me to end like my last tournament and go out like that, like not only just getting the most blocks, but like by far getting the most, it just feels good for me. It's like, yeah, I proved myself right. And you know, there's other factors there too. You know, like I had Nick Lucena behind me. When you have it's completely when you have a great defender behind you, your defender gets you blocks. He's setting things up. He's showing them certain things, knowing that you're going to take it away. And the vice versa is true. When a defender is leaving early or showing the wrong things, or they're not in their spot, they're not in sync with you, their hitters are gonna not even test you. They're not gonna take chances down low. They're just like, oh, just stare the defender down and stay away from try. And I've seen it over the years, and I can feel it. I don't even have to look back at my defender. I know it. I know that your timing is off. If if I'm seeing the blocker kind of like take a second off and just stay away from me and
Yeah.
stare the defender down. Anyway, I had a great defender back there, so he got me a few blocks for sure.
I love that. I love that mindset. As a defender, that makes me happy. But I got to ask you about the full crouch
Yeah.
squat thing that you do because that is a little different. Now for people listening that are like, what is he talking about? Well, try his blocking style and you can correct me here, but
Mhm.
I watch you get to this full squat where you're like completely hidden. And this
Mhm.
is like consistent. You're not just doing this once or twice. You do this pretty much, I don't know, every time, or it looks like that
Yeah, if I
anyway.
have time, if I have the time,
And then you just use all this energy and explode up. Um, how do you do that?
yeah. Well, I think the first thing you have to acknowledge is just like um, body mechanics is
Yeah,
like my body's built a certain way, you know.
yeah,
Phil Dahlhauser, Theo Burner, these 6'9", 6'8" guys, like their bodies are just built different. So we all figure out ways to access the most energy. If they try to do what I do, they wouldn't be accessing their max energy. It's just not how their levers work, you know.
right.
I have really flexible hips and really strong legs. I have big legs. They're really flexible, and I'm really lean through the torso area. You know, I have a long, lean torso. Probably why I throw my back out all the time. But
Mm,
so I can access power from really down low. You know who else does it is Anders Mole, the greatest blocker ever, probably.
sure.
He's like in a frog position. His knees go out and he touches the sand. I touch the sand when I block as well. But to be honest, it was more of an observation than something I created.
Okay.
You block, you block, you know, you're jumping as high as you can, right? And you're trying to be in the perfect position. And then if you go back and look at footage, oh man, that block felt perfect. What blocks feel perfect? When I'm balanced and I'm under me, my feet are under me, I'm getting my max jump. What does it look like? And it's like, whoa, we looked at it, we're like, dude, I touched the sand with my hands and my feet are weirdly close. My feet are like maybe 4 inches apart. Like you'd think like hip width, like maybe, my feet get really close. And this isn't
Hmm.
because we thought, okay, we're lining up and this is how you have to jump. No, we just observed it. Like this is how I jump highest.
Cool.
So we then took that and the whole like I hide from people, that was just a bonus. I'm
Okay.
not trying to hide from people, but I do realize that I'm out of their sight, and I do part of my game is to show them as I'm a show and take guy. I want to show you what I want you to see what I want you to see. So I try to get as far away from the spot where I'm going to block as possible sometimes and wait as long as I possibly can. So you see what I want you to see. And then I go and take it away as fast as I can. Um,
That's
but
cool.
I never like chose to like, I'm going to block from a really low place. I just realized that that's where I can access the most power. It wasn't like I'm going to try to hide from people. That was kind of like something I observed after. I was like, wow, people don't like that, you know. But I wouldn't say like for you to try to do it because like you might break your hips, like whoever, not
Right.
everyone's body is built like that. But what I would say as for an athlete is go out there and figure out whether you want to like see how high you touch or figure out what's that perfect place for you. Where do you jump? Where do you maximize your power? What play with different footworks? Like if your feet are wide, you're not going to jump as high, in my opinion. But I think people feel more balanced, so their feet are a little wider because they're
Play
not
with it. Huh? Play
they're
with it.
not on that. Yeah, play with it. Figure
Yeah.
out where your ideal footwork is, your ideal depth. This is your max depth. Where like if you have all the time in the world, where are you going to go to depth wise? Where are your feet going to be? And then once you find that, like now train it.
Love
Now
that.
you got to figure out how to move that frame and be balanced. If they do a shoot set to the pin, can you still get those feet under you to that depth and get straight up on it? That's where I've gone deeper and been fascinated is how to move that frame in that ideal explosive position. So now I'm balanced at a peak height more often than other blockers, even to the extent of I might be more balanced and on the ball than the hitter. Like
Yeah.
I'm reading their set better than they are, kind of thing.
Wow.
And I'm making those micro adjustments, whereas they're just kind of they picked their line of approach and they jumped. They didn't have the perfect step close where maybe it was 6 inches to the left. Whereas I said I moved and then I took that I call it a micro step because it doesn't feel like you're moving much, but 4 inch step is a big deal once you get up top because that's taking away your energy. If I'm jumping and I'm trying to block a ball that's 4 inches to the right, I'm not going to get as high. I'm going to lose height if I'm reaching to the side. So me taking that micro step and really planting on the ball opens up my angles. You only need to press an extra inch to take away a few feet of court in the back. So all these little micro steps that I call them are huge, but people don't teach it. No one's ever worked with me on that except for Hayden and Mikkel. They're the only two that like speak my language when it comes to that.
That's so interesting. This is like a master class in blocking right here.
I could
Can
go
you
all day.
Well, can you just take one more minute? Because here's what I did. I reached out to my social media at Within the Game podcast. If you guys are
Yeah.
listening, check, reach out. But one of my friends, Matt Wickesberg, shout out Matt, asked for best blocking advice from you.
Mm.
So everything that you just said was pretty nuanced and, footwork based. But like, can you take it to a general of like advice, situation or perspective?
Yeah. I mean, I guess number one is like penetration is better than reaching. That would be like what I'm teaching, what I want to teach kids at a young level. Um, I always say footwork's first, right? Because if your feet aren't in the wrong spot, right spot, uh, an off balance block is burned because the hitter's going to have more momentum. They're going to have the ball on their shoulder. They have a bigger step close. So like if your feet aren't under you, you're going to get burned. And especially if you're small, most people aren't as big a block as I am, or these people at the pro level, you know? So you better have your feet under you. And so it all starts with footwork. But other than that, the next thing I would teach people or tell people to really like play with is penetration. Like they think they got to go over here. Think about the ball, like the trajectory of the ball, right? There's a string or yeah, let's just say a string coming off the ball. Where is it going to cross the net? You don't want to go block it at the point it crosses the net. You want to go cut that angle off and go get it before it's going to cross the net.
Yeah.
Ideally, because
Yeah.
now you're taking more court without having to cover as much space. You can cover, that's why like a Phil Dahlhauser, he doesn't make these big one-handed moves, these big drops, which almost every block in the world does. He's just a master of lining up and penetrating so far into your space that you're like confused when you hit it because you're like, wait, you just blocked my angle, but you were in my line. Like this
Yeah.
guy's different though, right? He's the most freakish, biggest block,
Yeah.
at least of his generation that we had ever seen. But he just did it by lining up right and penetrating over the net.
Yeah.
You'll never see him or great blockers like unless they're diving and there's some freak play, you know, like they're never blocking it on the net.
Yeah.
They're blocking it over the net and they're cutting it off before it gets further outside of their body line to the point where it's going to cross the net. So you always want to try to get it as far over there as possible on the other side as possible and play with those angles.
It's great.
You can just
Have
cover
you
so much more ground.
have you ever thought about coaching?
Yeah. I mean, I love like doing stuff like what we're doing right now,
Yeah.
passing on the knowledge,
Yeah.
inspiring. I would love to see, you know, teach some young players some of my stuff and
Yeah.
see it implemented and all that. Yes. So I'm interested.
Okay.
And I'm confident in my ability to be honest. Um, I would do it differently, you know. It would be a mindfulness approach probably first. It would start in
Yeah.
the mind if I was
Love
the
that.
head coach, and then it would be very technical, and then it would be very playful as well.
Yes. I think there's so much value in your mind to share. And if USA Volleyball is listening, you know,
Oh, they already reached out.
there you go. There you go.
but well, so to answer your question though, like right now I'm actually not pursuing coaching.
Okay.
Just where I'm at right now and my family, me and Gabby, the way that we're trying to make a living and build our career, we have a lot of fun stuff going on
Okay.
and I'm really excited to get her stuff going. I'm actually excited for all you guys. She's an entertainer as well.
Yeah.
She's an actress, social media, DIY, all that. Gabby Bourne on social media if you want to follow. She loves building things, but she's also an actress. And so we're trying to blend her acting career and her DIY building career and actually write a show about it. And
Good.
she, you know, she's already been, you know, trying to get her on in more movies. Obviously, it's hard in Hollywood. You only get your shot here and there, so you don't really get to choose how many motion pictures you get to be in. But she was in that big Nike movie a few years ago, and so it's exciting for me to try to get her career going because she's been not waiting, but we've been putting all the energy towards mine, and she allowed me to just go all in on my career, and that's all I wanted. Like I said earlier, I have no interest in going 75% in.
Yeah.
You know, some athletes are like, I'm just gonna play till the end. I know my body's falling. I'm like, nah, I'm either all in or all out.
Right.
And
Right.
so now I'm really excited for her to go all in and to support her on that journey, spend more time with the kids. And I think we can build something cool there. But yeah, coach on the side if I want to here and there, if people reach out and you know, I'll give back. I'm not trying to go to the grave with this knowledge.
Right.
And I have my whole like if I start coaching at 50, like What's wrong with that?
Exactly. It's not going anywhere. No,
Yeah.
that's really
So
cool. I'm gonna link all that Gabby stuff too. Let's go, Gabby.
cool.
Let's go, Gabby.
She's carrying the family now.
Try. I only have two more things. If you want to be brief on these, I know we're a little over time.
Yeah, no
Um,
worries.
I
I've
gotta
been
ask.
rambling.
Yeah, I gotta ask about the AVP, and then I want to
Yep.
talk about Sandcast. But I
Yep.
gotta ask, just okay. The AVP is what it is. You've mentioned the juice. What was the phrase? The juice.
Juice isn't worth the squeeze.
So we're aware of that. But now that you're on this side of it, looking back, you could either talk directly to them if they watch this, or to the players, or to the fans. Like, I'm just gonna leave that
Yeah.
open to you. Like, what share a little bit about the AVP and where do you think it could get better at?
Yeah. Well, first of all, like the juice isn't worth the squeeze thing is like that's for me as a whole. When I put
Okay.
all the factors in, it isn't obviously AVP is a factor, but I just don't feel entitled to them doing things a certain way so that it's conducive with how I'm trying to end my
Sure.
career or how I'm trying to be, like
Yeah.
I do believe that these people came in with a new vision, having seen what has happened in the past. They're not willing to do the same thing, which I respect. Um, I don't think there's a perfect way that they can do it. They're going to have to take their L's in the beginning and take hits. I just don't want to say the reality is I don't know if it's going to succeed or not. But I appreciate them giving it a shot. I think there's part of it that's entertaining. I think you see a lot of it. Phil Dahlhauser wouldn't be around right now if it wasn't for that format.
Good point.
I was actually really excited, but I got to say I put myself in a position to where I didn't make the league. So yeah, I mean, I get why the traditionalists of the sport and even myself like miss regular tournaments and all that, but I'm actually more of a fan of like because my goal, I want to see this thing blow up. I want to see the stadiums. I want to see the success and the money
Yeah.
coming in, and I
Right.
want to be a elite professional sports league.
Yeah.
And if we stay the same, you got to expect the same results. So I don't mind us taking chances, and I don't blame fans for being like, "This sucks. I'm not into it," either. I just don't have much expectation. It's like I hope for the best kind of
Yeah.
thing. Um, but I do respect them trying something new, and a lot of a lot of great things don't start off super hot.
Yeah.
There's a path to mastery. There's one step backwards, two steps forward kind of thing, and you got to take a dip in the beginning when you make a change like this. So we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
how it turns out. I don't have any skin in the game anymore, but I always want to support them because that tour's been good to me as a whole. Which, the ownership's changed over the years, the players have changed, the refs have changed, but the brand itself, the AVP, has just like been so good to me, and
Yeah.
so I'll continue to support it, and I hope for the best. And this ownership model, if it ever comes to fruition, like that sounds kind of fun for me to be a part of. Like I'm looking for
Yeah.
things that excite me nowadays. Like I
Totally.
said, coaching's not really exciting me. I want to help younger players, but I'm not like super excited
Yeah.
about coaching quite yet. And I think I might be soon, eventually. But like being a part of that pro league, if it starts to pop off, and like maybe GMing a team or coaching a pro team, or who knows?
That's cool.
I
That's
don't
cool.
know
I think you and I are the same in that we're entrepreneurs. And so when,
exactly.
looking at the AVP model and like watching them trying something different, we respect that, right? It's like, yeah, you got to
Hmm.
try. The previous model wasn't working. Try a new model. Totally respect that. That's why I'm
Yeah,
wearing this right now, this AVP shirt, because I'm a fan and I want to be a super fan. I really do.
yeah.
I want to watch it like just like you said. I want to see it thrive. So
Hmm.
my biggest thing is I think they should really open up dialogues with people like you. They should they
Yes.
they should be picking your brain. They should be texting you and calling you and asking you for a coffee and saying what worked
Hmm.
and what didn't and opening
Right.
that up to get more information, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't know. We're not in the closed doors session. That's their business, but I think people like yourself, I'll throw myself in there too. Like we actually want this to do well. Talk to us. We'll share some
Hmm.
ideas. We don't have skin in the game, but I think that's kind of the number one thing.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. They got to be open-minded. I could see how it's a double-edged sword in that you can't take too much opinions,
Sure.
because there's going to be overlap. There's times when I've gone to Glazebrook with my ideas and I like just spewing them out there. Take it or leave it, whatever. But
Yeah.
a lot of the time, most of the time, it's like we've thought of that. Like we're
Sure.
thinking about these things, but we're just a few steps ahead and we couldn't do it because there's 5 reasons why or blah blah blah. Which us fans like commenting on the outside, we're like, I got an idea. Why don't you
Yeah.
just do
Yeah.
this? It seems
Totally.
simple.
Totally.
But at the same time, why would you not take, especially for the people who have been in it deeply and have a unique perspective? Of course, like be open to their perspective and
Yeah.
knowledge and all that. I think in terms of what I think needs to happen is for sure tap into the veterans of the sport, right? Because you're an entertainment product at the end of the day, and these are the people, the Casey Pattersons, the Jake Gibbs, the Hydens, and these are the people who have entertained the fans for all these years. So keep bringing them back. Yeah, like they're putting them in the broadcast and stuff like that. Um, Maybe keep creating opportunities because these people are entertaining. They're
Totally.
the ones who have created these moments for these fans that are watching now, and they know what it means and how to keep recreating it for the new generation.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the thing I've been stuck on lately is create moments, make the fans feel something. Like put a focus on that
Yes.
versus there's all these things that have to happen to run a business and trying to put it in place. But like at the end of the day, if the fans aren't leaving feeling something and remembering it and being inspired or something or remembering a moment, even if they were scared or they have to have felt something leaving this event. And I would put more emphasis on that. And I would educate the athletes in ways that will educate them to be able to be better entertainers. How to the stuff we were talking about in the beginning. How can they put their don't act? You don't have to act. This isn't WWE, but um, put your authentic self out there and let the fans in on it.
Yeah.
Here's how to do it in a social media way. Here's how to do it on
Yeah.
the court. Here's how to do it while focusing on your craft and being your best. Here's how to,
No.
educate the athletes because these kids are coming out of college and they don't know what to do. They're
Sure.
just like, we're just showing up but they gotta entertain and they gotta put out a good product. And that's not just playing good volleyball sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. And we're rooting for you, AVP. And shout out the McKibben brothers, Riley and Madison, who are amazing storytellers and content
Yes.
creators who are really kind of helping drive the brand. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
we can finish on this today. Try like you're driving the brand with Sandcast right now, and
Mm-hmm.
and definitely Travis too. Shout out Travis, but another guest of this show. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
inspired by you guys, right? Because you're a few years into this podcast game, before I jumped in, and now that I'm in it, I'm in my fifth year. I'm approaching 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Um, it feels so good to help, share, right? We're talking about sharing inspiration as kind of like that's what I started with. I would love for you to share more inspiration about Sandcast, what that's become. It's become a business, it's become its own brand. It's become something really cool and exciting to look forward to. I look forward to new episodes. Share a little bit of the Sandcast
Yeah.
journey with us.
Yeah. I mean, it comes back down to it's just like an authentic thing that happened genuinely. There was no part of us that was like, hey, like this could actually be lucrative. We could make, some good money off this and like start a business. And we didn't even think about business at all. It was just literally, uh, let's just start a podcast because Travis, I got interviewed by Travis
Yeah.
and I'm always thinking of like, I don't know. My thing is I don't want to wait. I feel like I've spent a certain amount of years early on waiting and waiting for that good thing to come. And it's like, no, just if you want something to happen, just go do it yourself. And
Let's
you don't
go.
even it doesn't have to be wildly successful. You're going to
Right.
gain confidence in yourself because you went for it. And that's kind of what Sandcast was. It was like, I'm going to do something. I feel like the tour, and I thought it was the tour's responsibility. They're not putting, they're not connecting me with the fans. They're not allowing me to, the fans to know me in a authentic, genuine way so that when they're cheering, they know who they're cheering for
Right.
and why they're cheering for me or against me. Because we need that connection. We need the fans to be connected with the athletes. So I wanted to start my own podcast because of that. And I gained my skill set because I was willing to go out there and commentate. And I realized, oh, I'm pretty good at public speaking and I know a lot about volleyball, but it's hard for me to organize it.
Mm-hmm.
Travis interviews me like, you are good at this. Like, you're
Mm-hmm.
very good at this. In fact, that was the least like generic podcast interview I've ever had
Yeah.
when he interviewed me. It wasn't like the so how was it out there when you're in the sun and it was really hot and you're playing? It was like it wasn't generic questions. It was like
Yeah.
deep and raw, and you could tell it. He just like he wasn't trying. It was just in him.
Yep.
So I started it with him, and we did it with the sole purpose of connecting the fans with the athletes and giving the athletes a platform to put their real selves out there. Like, who do you go talk to the fans? What person do you want the fans to know? So when they're watching, they're not going to cheer for you because of your name, because you're out there, but they heard your podcast and like, dude, what? You're from there too? Oh,
Yeah.
you like these things? Oh, you said all these things that made me feel something. Boom, favorite athlete. Boom, you have a real fan. That's what we want. That's what the
Right.
sport needs is these real fans. So I thought it was an opportunity for that. It was a platform for the players by the players, and we stuck with that as our main theme. We never really ever turned it into like this is going to make us great money. At some point, I think because we've been so authentic and solid on that theme, sponsors did start coming in and make a little bit more than we thought we would, but not enough to where I would keep doing it if I wasn't enjoying it and thinking that feeling that it's inspiring people. And most of the people I was retiring, they're all like, "You're not going to stop the podcast, right?" I was like, "Is that all you care about?"
Well, you know what's cool about that, Try? You are good at it, You're good
Yeah.
at it. It's fun to listen to. And I just want to give you love and not just love, but inspiration for a younger player because Try, imagine if you were sitting here right now speaking with me and you didn't have the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like so many players get to this point of a beautiful, amazing, inspiring career, but it's kind of fleeting because it's like, all right. And then everyone always asks him, now what? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And you're sitting on an asset, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
your podcast is now an asset for you.
Yeah.
Yes, you and
Yeah.
Travis together, but I think that's inspiring. It's so inspiring to have an asset that will continue to become more powerful. It will continue to blossom. It'll find its own audience. Audience will
Yep.
find it, and it will evolve. And we always talk about that word energy, right? It will actually create energy for you and your family, and that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. No, it's become something awesome. And I think here's my message. One of these messages that if I was the tours, I would be making sure when players come in, like you almost have like a class, like orientation. Like
Sure.
here's certain things we want you to know. And it's like, first of all, like I said, don't wait for other people to do stuff. Do it yourself. If you have an idea, go do it. Um, and do something. Not everyone's built to don't go out and make a podcast. If you think that you're built for it, if it feels exciting and try it, whatever,
Yeah.
but like do something. Try to build something outside of volleyball. It could be not social media. It could not even be media. It could be you're making trinkets or something, but like do something besides your just volleyball. And and I mean that like something that will push your brand forward. Build something more than just uh your performance on the court
Yeah.
because you're going to learn a lot whether you fail or do it right or like be in the meetings if you're having meetings with sponsors. excuse me, um, learn something, especially if you're early. I mean, I'm still young. I'm 36, retiring, still so young. So I got to keep learning and like having that beginner's mindset. But especially you athletes in the beginning, the thing that paying dividends for me now is that I said this early. It's like, I want to learn and be open to the business meetings, read the books, try to figure out how the tour works. How does USA Volleyball work? Oh, I can be on the board of directors. I'm going to sit in those meetings, gain perspective,
Yeah.
learn, grow, do all that stuff. It might not feel like it's doing anything, but 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, you're going to be happy you did it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Try, dude. This is so awesome, man. I'm like, I want to talk more and more, but I know we're over time. Just as we close up, just talk about any, any closing reflections, any closing ideas about your
Let me get a little
career.
water.
Yeah, yeah, get some water while I'm
Sorry.
kind of closing up here.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. It's all good. You gotta stay hydrated, everybody. Um,
Oh, my daughter was sick last week. She gave me a little cough. I beat it, but like just a lingering
just a
cough.
little tickle, a little tickle. But yeah, we're closing up here. So closing reflections, and then like maybe you could do this. Maybe you could whisper a little piece of advice to your younger self before that
Yeah,
first
yeah.
time.
Yeah, I would say I think we covered most of it. Try to inspire people.
Yeah, man. That's it, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're inspiring people, you're gonna look back and you won't have regrets. We all want to live our best life, whether you're an athlete or it doesn't matter. Um, there's a needle, there's the green and the red. Just try to be in the green.
Yeah.
Have a positive impact. You do
Love that.
not having a positive impact all the way to 99 out of 100 to me is the same as having a positive impact. Let's say it's a 1 to 100 scale. It's the same as having an impact of a 51. It doesn't matter how positive, how many people you inspire. Just move the needle in the positive direction a little bit, and you're living an inspired life. You're growing. You're always in that 51%. You're just going to grow throughout your life, and you're going to feel good. You're in the green. Just be in the green. And man, if I had a lesson to my younger self, I would just say like, um, just trust your heart, trust your deep. You have the answers. You don't have to look anywhere outside. Just be present and try to give yourself the space to hear what your heart's telling you and take chances and don't be scared to fail and try to let go of the reins. Be courageous enough to let go of the reins and see where life steers you.
Damn. Mic drop. Try Bourne. Hopefully this is not the last time, Hopefully
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
continue to have these beautiful conversations. But I'm just proud of you. Congratulations on a beautiful career, you know. And congratulations for what's coming next. I'm gonna say that. You know what? There's other podcasts that ask you about all what's gonna happen next. I just trust. And
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
and for maybe we'll talk about it on another episode. How about that?
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool if at one point in my life I can look back and be like, volleyball was one of my acts.
Right.
It
Right.
wasn't the final act. It wasn't the biggest thing or the coolest thing I did. It was just one of the things I did.
Yeah.
So to just flip it and keep going and see what I can do next.
That's
Why
it,
not?
man. That's it. I appreciate you. For everyone that's been with us so far, thank you so much for being with us. Try. Any last words?
I appreciate you, Wex. Keep doing your thing. You're a great ambassador for our sport, and you're moving the needle into the green, buddy. Appreciate
Thank you
you.
so much, man. It feels like I'm in the green, so I appreciate it.
You
Hey,
are.
Try. Don't go anywhere. For everyone else, peace and blessings, y'all. Thank you. Stay inspired.